Hello and welcome back to Travel to Greece. Today we're going to return to the islands and discuss the Saronic Gulf. And what better way to start it than with the island of Aegina. Situated just 27 kilometers or 17 miles from Athens in the Saronic Gulf, the island was thought to have been named after the nymph Aegina, who fell in love with Zeus. Their child would become the king of the island, but he was sad because there were no people, so Zeus turned all of the ants on the island into people, giving the locals the title of Myrmidons, which means ants. Aegina is one of the most underrated islands in Greece, from significant religious pilgrimages to pistachio trees, and from a vivid ancient history to the house of the famous Greek poet Nikos Kazantzakis. This island has a lot to offer. Aegina was one of the first places in Greece to use coins, as well as a key resistance force against the Ottomans. The island is relatively small at around 87.41 square kilometers and has a population of around 13,000 permanent residents, though many Athenians own vacation homes, so the population doubles in peak season. Last summer, I had the honor of visiting, and I can truly say that it is a stunning place. So without further ado, here are the top 8 things to see on Aegina. Number 8. Perdika. Perdika is a small fishing village on the southwest coast of Aegina, known for its quiet harbor, traditional tavernas, and views toward the uninhabited island of Moni. The village developed around a natural bay, and its waterfront is lined with family-run restaurants that serve fresh fish brought in by local boats. As you walk along the promenade, you see the older part of the village rising gently behind the port, with narrow lanes and whitewashed houses that reflect its Cycladic influence. Perdika is especially popular in the late afternoon when the light softens and the entire coastline glows, creating one of the island's most memorable sunset spots. It's not a place of big landmarks. Its charm comes from the relaxed pace, the sea breeze, and the feeling that life here still follows the rhythm of the water. Number 7. Elonas. Elonas, the ancient olive grove of Aegina, feels like a quiet world suspended in time. Spread across gentle hills in the island's interior, it's home to some of the oldest olive trees in Greece, many believed to be over 1,000 years old. Their twisted trunks and wide sculptural branches create a landscape that looks almost mythical, especially in late afternoon when the light settles softly between the trees. Walking through Elonas isn't about sightseeing. It's about slowing down and noticing the details, the sound of the cicadas, the scent of wild herbs, the way that the grove opens into the views of the surrounding countryside. Historically, this area supplied Aegina with much of its olive oil, and today it remains one of the island's most peaceful and authentic places. It's the kind of spot where you feel the deep continuity between ancient and modern Greece simply by standing still. Number 6. Paleochora. Paleochora is one of Aegina's most haunting and fascinating places, a hillside dotted with the ruins of more than 30 Byzantine churches that once formed the island's medieval capital. Built inland to protect its people from pirate raids, the settlement climbs the slope like a stone labyrinth with narrow paths leading from one quiet chapel to the next. Many of those churches still hold fragments of faded frescoes, giving you small, intimate glimpses into the island's spiritual past. As you walk upward, the landscape opens into sweeping views of the Saronic Gulf, and the silence feels almost timeless. Paleochora isn't restored or polished. That's part of its charm. It's a place where history is left in its natural state, where you can wander freely and feel the layers of centuries beneath your feet. Visiting it feels like sightseeing, and more like stepping into a forgotten chapter of Aegina's story. It's naturally protected on both sides from massive rocks that act as almost ancient walls. It's like an incredible castle carved directly out of nature. Number 5. Aegina's pistachios. What would this list be without mentioning Aegina's pistachios? They are more than a local product. They are part of the island's identity, shaping its landscape, economy, and even its reputation across Greece. The groves stretch across the island in neat, low-growing rows, and the dry, salty climate gives the nuts their famous sweetness and rich flavor. Recognized with PDO status, Aegina pistachios are considered among the best in the world, and you feel that pride everywhere. In small family farms, in market stalls, and in the creative treats sold along the port. Pistachio ice cream, brittle, butter, and pastries. Walking through Aegina town, the scent of roasted pistachios drifts from shop doorways, and it's almost impossible not to stop for a taste. What makes them special isn't just the flavor, but the sense of tradition behind them. Generations of growers tending the same trees, harvesting by hand, and keeping a craft alive that defines the island as much as its temples and beaches. Number 4. Agia Marina. Agia Marina is Aegina's most classic beach resort, a long curve of golden sand backed by pine-covered hills and a waterfront full of cafes, tavernas, and small hotels. It's the island's liveliest summer spot, especially popular with families thanks to its shallow, calm waters and easy access to everything you need there for a full day by the sea. The village stretches along the bay, and as you walk the promenade, you catch glimpses of the Temple of Aphaia rising above the trees. One of the rare places in Greece where a major ancient site sits just minutes away from a modern beach. The atmosphere is relaxed and friendly, with boats bobbing in the small harbor and the scent of grilled seafood drifting from the tavernas at sunset. Agia Marina isn't just a beach, it's a complete little seaside world where you can swim, eat, wonder, and unwind without ever feeling rushed. It's especially special because the port also houses direct access to Athens, meaning that this beach is not only accessible, but absolutely incredible. Number 3. Aegina Town. Aegina Town is the island's lively heart, a waterfront lined with neoclassical buildings, fishing boats, and cafes that spill out toward the sea. The harbor is always the first thing you notice, colorful, busy, and full of character, with small boats bringing in the day's catch and ferries gliding in from Athens. Behind the promenade, narrow streets weave through old neighborhoods filled with bakeries, pistachio shops, and quiet courtyards shaded by bougainvillea. The town's history is never far away. The single standing column of the ancient temple of Apollo rises just steps from the port, a reminder that Aegina was once one of Greece's early city-states. It even has its own flag still to this day. As the sun sets, the waterfront glows with warm light, and the whole town takes on a relaxed island rhythm. It's a place where modern life and ancient traces blend naturally, giving Aegina Town a charm that feels both authentic and timeless. Number 2. Agios Nectarios Monastery. Agios Nectarios Monastery is one of the most significant pilgrimage sites in Greece, a place where spirituality and architecture come together in a way that feels both grand and deeply personal. Built in the early 20th century to honor Saint Nectarios, one of the most beloved modern saints of the Orthodox Church, the complex rises above the valley with its impressive domes, long arcades, and peaceful courtyards. Visitors often begin in the main church, where soft light filters through the windows and the scent of incense lingers in the air, before walking up the stone path to the small monastery where the saint lived and wrote. The atmosphere is calm and reflective, even when the site is busy, and the surrounding hills give the whole area a sense of quiet separation from the rest of the island. Whether you come for faith, history, or simply to experience a place that holds a deep meaning for so many people, Agios Nectarios leaves a lasting impression. The relics there are some of the best I've ever seen at any church. I truly love this place, and I hope you enjoyed if you ever visit. And finally, number 1, the Temple of Aphaia. The Temple of Aphaia stands on a pine-covered hill above Agia Marina, and it feels like one of those rare ancient sites where the setting is just as powerful as the history. Built around 500 BC and dedicated to the local goddess Aphaia, the temple forms one of the points of the famous sacred triangle with the Parthenon and the Temple of Poseidon at Sunion. In fact, it was actually built before the Parthenon as an example to see how it would all lay out. Its Doric columns rise clean and bright against the sky, and because the site is so open, you can walk around the entire structure and take in sweeping views of the Saronic Gulf and Athens in the distance. The atmosphere is calm and almost untouched, especially in the early morning when the light filters through the pines and the island is still quiet. What makes Aphaia special isn't just its excellent state of preservation, but the feeling that you're standing in a place that has watched over Aegina for more than 2,500 years. It's one of those spots where the ancient world feels surprisingly close. Thank you for watching Travel to Greece's video on the top 8 things to see and do on Aegina. I really hope that next time that you're in Athens, you choose to visit here even just for a couple hours, as it is worth the trip. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.